All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? So I got this private message on my Facebook page from my boy Jacob. So I'm just going to read you what he's looking to try to solve, and hopefully you get some value out of this as well. He goes, my project's taken quite a long time. It's a long horizon project. I'm at the stage where I'm building a team and trying to motivate them. Any tips on that? I just asked a follow-up question to try to understand a little bit more about the project that he's working on. And he says it's an app and systems where customers can request a service from their mobile device and get a response ASAP. So it's a mobile app is basically what we're talking about, and it's taken a long time for my boy Jacob to get this thing done. It sounds like he's got a little bit of frustration around it, trying to get his team motivated. First thing I want to hit on is if you've got a team working with you on a project, you're an entrepreneur, you've gathered a team of developers, programmers, whatever it is for your app, you got to make sure that they are on board completely with what you're doing. You know, too many times I've done work with other developers, with other people that are on projects, and they're totally distracted. It's not their main interest or whatever it is. You got to be very, very clear with them on what your expectations are and set a timeline and hold them accountable to it. And I've talked about this in other videos on things like, you know, don't let people make their problems your problems. Hold them accountable to what it is that they're supposed to do. Super important. So that's the first thing, is make sure you've surrounded yourself with great people. The other thing is, are you striving for perfection, or are you striving to get it out in the market? So let's say it's an app and there's 5 functions, okay? I'll use, cars as an example. I know a lot of you guys are into cars. So let's say this is an app that helps people find cars. Rather than build it out so that it's got 18 or 27 different search features or functions, so you can select car, color, transmission, all the fine little details. A better thing to do is, rather than have perfection, put something out to the market that isn't quite polished, but it's out, it's ready to go. You can always hone it later on, right? You can always fix it later on. It doesn't have to be perfect. What you have to do is get it out. There's too many people that strive for absolute perfection, and then they sit around for a year, several years, and nothing happens. I've got a very, very close and dear friend of mine that's an amazing entrepreneur, and he's building an amazing product, but for the last 3 or 4 years, he's been working so hard to make it perfect, and every time that I ask him where he's at when the full launch comes, he's never ready to do it. The date always gets pushed back because he's looking to try to perfect it. And I told him straight out, I said, look, man, if you don't get this thing done, a bunch of 18-year-old kids with a case of Red Bull and a big boner are going to come along and get this thing done and beat you to the market on it. You got to get something out. Another way to approach something like this with an app is just wireframe it. Have you actually tested it? Do people want it? Because one thing that I'd be concerned about is, are you throwing out, 8 months, 12 months, 16 months of your time developing an app that nobody really wants? A really good way to test it is to wireframe it, which really has no functionality whatsoever. It's just a picture. If you guys know what wireframing is, you have buttons, but they don't take you anywhere, or nothing really happens in the background. It's just the framework of the app. So make sure people want what it is that you're selling, because you might be throwing a lot of time and resources at something that people may not want or may not see any value in. Kickstarter is a really good way to do that. You can look up a guy named Clay Hebert on YouTube and on the internet. He's really good at launching stuff with Kickstarters. He's got some articles out there. But that's a very good way to test it to the market first. So, Jacob, my boy, I hope that helps you out. You got any other questions? Happy to answer them. Shoot a video, just throw them in the comments below. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.